Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Sports Report is on the air for the 100th
Holy mackerel.
show.
100 shows?
100 shows.
Holy mackerel.
Are we getting any better, or is this just
I don't know.
we're stubborn and hanging in
I
there?
guess so. We got nothing better to do, I guess.
But they've been fun.
It has been fun to get together and talk about this stuff.
Yep. Well, we'll see what the next 100 brings.
Okay.
So, friends, I'd like to start off, if I may, with a serious note for just a second. In the past 2 weeks, Death has claimed two fine men with strong ties to Norfolk, Jimmy Murray and Frank Grouse. Jimmy was born in Norfolk, a few houses down the street from me, 1 year older than I was, so his death hits home. He was 80, I'm 79. Jimmy married Junie Arnold and raised his family on Cleveland Street, a successful businessman and a terrific family man, a good friend. Jimmy is one of the people that I've met in my life. I have never heard anyone say one bad word about him. He was liked and respected by all, and
He had a good life.
he did. He led a good life.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, a week later, we had the death of Frank Grouse, longtime Norfolk resident who, upon retirement, had moved to New Bern, North Carolina. Frank and his wife Carol lived in the center of town in the building where he had his law office. He was very active in town affairs, serving as moderator and school committee chairman for many, many years. I mean, we're talking 20, 25 years for each post. He also served on the cemetery commission as the sole member for God only knows how long. And he was also very interested in the history of the town of Norfolk. Mm-hmm. Frank possessed a wicked wit.
Yeah.
Always parceled out good advice and was a good friend. And it's the kind of guy, to the law office he had. There was no cars there.
Yeah.
I'd stop in once in a while and visit with him, and he was always receptive to sitting down and having a 15-minute chat about whatever I wanted to chat about.
You're a good man.
He was a good man.
Yeah.
The town of Norfolk finds itself much poorer in the passing of these two fine men. We need more like Jimmy and Frank, not fewer. May God take them both into his loving arms and hold them safely for all eternity. My deepest condolences to Judy and Carol and their families during these stressful times.
Yeah. It's sad, but
Sad, but it's something we all face.
it's reality.
It is. It's reality, you know. They both had led good lives.
They did.
So
Had an impact.
that's right. Absolutely. And always we're looking to give, not take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, on that note, the corona flu and the stock market crisis.
Holy mackerel.
We're taping on Friday, the 28th of February, and the stock market, last time I looked, was down 800 to 900 more points.
This morning.
This morning, yeah. However, if there is a bit of a glimmer of hope here, the cases reported by China were down rather significantly today.
Yeah.
Now, if you can believe
You
that.
can believe the information. That's
That's like believing a 3-card Monte dealer
Yeah.
in Times Square. Oh, yeah, you got a good chance to win, buddy.
Yes, transparency is not their strong point.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. No, it's
Yeah.
not. One of the things one of the guests this morning brought up on Stuart Varney's show on Fox Financial is something I had thought of. and I'm not that bright, believe me, but it was something I had thought of, is that this flu, which finds its genesis in China, was underreported and hidden from view for far too long by these people.
Yeah.
This is what happens with a closed society. But what is going to happen, according to one of the guests, is we're going to find out that in a crisis like this, companies are going to find other countries to work with to supply goods and services that are needed, where China openly, with their arms wide open, said, send me your manufacturing. We're going to make excellent products at cheap prices, and it's going to be good for you, good for us, blah, blah, blah. Well, the supply chain is now, I won't say it's broken, but boy, it's certainly stalled.
Yeah.
And I think by turning to Korea and to Vietnam and to India, I think that China is going to lose a lot of business.
I think they are too.
And this is going to set their GDP back quite a bit. And the ramifications of that will be worldwide. We're a worldwide deal now, not just single countries. But
I think that a lot of companies, speaking for the company I worked for, General Dynamics, before I retired just as the tariffs were coming into play, and big company, well-managed company, had no idea how much of our stuff originated in China. Because we weren't buying most of it directly from China. We were buying from distributors and other companies.
Right.
And when you really peeled down into what was the source of, particularly of electronic components, it was China.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we didn't issue POs to China,
no,
but that's where the stuff was coming from.
For order of magnitude, I worked for companies, and we built actuators to put on valves to automatically close them and opening and throttle with them, either pneumatically or electronically. Well, we had an actuator that we could put on practically everybody's valve. Every quarter turn device, a ball valve, a butterfly valve, or something like that. But what we lacked, of course, was the intermediary pieces, a bracket assembly to marry part A to part B, and the coupler to take the rotation from the actuator, which was quarter turn, and mount it to the quarter turn on the valve in a tight, well-done fashion, rugged piece of equipment. And that was always something that we found out the specialty houses. Nitz Valve Hardware in Sebowing, Michigan. Jerry Nitz was my key guy for many years. But when I could identify 50 or 75 units annually of a 2-inch Jamesbury ball valve with an RC40 or an RC50 using the same bracket and coupler, what I was paying Jerry $60 for the bracket and the coupler, $3 out of China.
$3?
$3.
Wow.
And that's freight included.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
$3. I had to buy.
That's why it happened.
All 75 or 100 at once. But for the cost of 6 that I'd buy from Jerry, I hated to do that because Jerry did some marvelous things for me. But when you could identify something that you used over and over, man, the price just bazongo.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how much money they were making.
That's what happens when you're paying your labor 50 cents an hour.
Well, that's right. And I don't know how much money they were making and whether they're trying to buy their way into business in the States. But boy, I can tell you.
They clearly were.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully that'll be the silver lining of this
That's right.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that supply chains will
Diversify.
will diversify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we'll all be better off for it.
Yeah, in the long run.
Yeah. So one other non-sports item, if you will, the scrum for the Democratic nomination for president.
The scrum.
Yeah, that looked like a rugby match, the last debate.
It did.
I'm telling you, the man Robert's Rules of Order, old man Roberts, he must have been spitting in his grave listening to that.
It was ugly.
It was really something.
Yeah. The moderators just lost control.
Oh, just totally lost
In the first
control.
5 minutes, they lost control.
Yeah, and Biden, don't you tell me not to talk. I've been listening to these other people. I'm talking, you know.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, you drop the gavel on him. But what are you going to do? Go over and hit him with the gavel? You know, it was poorly handled.
Yeah.
But,
and I didn't think the candidates, presented themselves.
Tell me something. If you were to grade them on the A, B, C, D, F scale, was there an A?
No.
No. Was there a B?
I don't think so.
No, I think you start with C. I really do.
Yeah.
And of course, as a Republican, I perhaps look at things through a different set of prisms, but nonetheless, being logical about it and trying to be fair, it was really not good.
Yeah.
But I thought that no one distinguished themselves, and Elizabeth Warren got lost in there.
She just, went after Bloomberg again.
Yeah.
It was the same attack as the week before.
Do you know that she
just-
had, but she
sad.
had been screaming. She had definitely turned the sound down for this debate, but not the message, but the sound.
And Bernie turned it up.
Yeah. He can rave with the best of them. But the more that comes out about Bernie and his price tag for his socialism, it gets to be
it's crazy.
It gets to be ridiculous. But this has been quite an interesting process to watch,
It has.
and it's not over yet
Not by any
because
means.
this thing, excuse me, could, if there is not a clear winner by the convention is going to be quite a food fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be positively must-watching.
Yeah. I
But
don't think there's going to be a winner.
no, I don't think so either, unless Bernie does. And then they are going to do their damnedest to deny it to him.
That's when all hell breaks
That's
loose.
when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun to watch.
It'll be interesting.
Boy, history in the making. My wife had mentioned to me that I really should talk about my shirt.
Your shirt, this shirt here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Collarless, I think.
yes. In that, she said, people are going to think you're wearing your pajamas to the show.
No, it's a nice shirt.
It is. This is a traditional Irish grandfather's shirt.
Huh.
Or patriarch of a family shirt.
Really?
Yeah, and it's made in County Cork, Ireland.
Huh.
It cost me more money than I care to admit, but it's a nice shirt.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$70.
That's not, well,
Yeah.
that's what you pay for.
A little pricey.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you are, folks. If you want to know where to buy it, give me a call. I'll tell
Dapper Dan.
you. Well, at least we've clarified that's not a
I
night
like it, though.
shirt.
It's nice.
And the more you wash it, the softer it gets.
Is that right?
Yeah, supposing that's what they say. So we have a new National Football League. Looks to me like a done deal for 10 more years.
CBA, yeah.
Yeah,
It would appear that way.
yeah, and I got to tell you, the players, the rank and file, are not making out in this.
No, they're not.
This is not a good deal for them.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's going through so easy. I really am. I mean, J.J. Watt's come out against it. A few other players are coming out against it.
Aaron Rodgers.
But I think it's going to carry the day.
It is. And you know why? Because so many of these young men just out of college, from humble backgrounds, hey, I'm making a raise from $440,000 a year to $525,000 a year.
Yeah.
And some other bennies
Yeah.
with it. This is real money. And they also, so many of them say, I only got 2 or 3 years before I'm out with an injury, I lose my speed, and I'm out of football. So the more I can make on entry-level contracts,
The better.
the better. I can, 3 years at $500,000 a year, let's say, that's $1.5 million. You give that to an investment advisor who's honest and capable, and, you know, you get a pretty good leg up on being fixed.
You do.
Unfortunately, so many of them go invest in new Lincolns and floozies and wild living, and end up with 2 banged up knees and no money.
Right.
And that's sad.
And that's going to be the case at 5 1/4 too.
Yeah, it is. Oh, no question about it. But they're very short-sighted, I think. Aaron Rodgers is set for life.
Of course.
And he's saying, this is a bad deal for you guys.
Right.
And so is J.J. Watt, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that this is a bird in the hand worth 2 in the bush kind of a deal for so many of these young players that never had anything in
Yeah, the
life
first round
growing
picks
up.
are fine, but if you're a
That's right.
4th or 5th round pick,
Yep. And you happen to make a roster, and it's not a good deal.
yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. Also, they're going to get to play an extra game, 17-game season, and only 3 exhibitions. And there'll be 2 extra wild card teams. Like, that's really what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a couple of those 500 teams in there.
Yeah, so there'll only be 1 bye now, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to see if they could figure a way to get 2 byes in there, but they don't want to be playing football when the crocuses are blooming in the Super Bowl, you know. Some people might say, myself included, but not really, I think, you've given us enough football. Aren't you afraid of burying us with too much? And I don't think so. I argue against my own thought that this is something the American public loves, professional football.
Yeah. I mean, swapping what amounts to a regular season game for an exhibition game is absolutely. Who watches the 4th exhibition game?
Who watches any of them?
I know.
Yeah.
So it's all about the cash.
Yeah, it is. It's about the cash. No question about it. And the inclusion of 2 more teams, it's sort of like the Hall of Fame when you start putting in marginal players. You dilute it. But you know what? They'll have high ratings.
Yeah, well, it keeps more, it's like baseball. It keeps more teams alive. Wild cards.
Once they get this signed, they can then go to the TV outlets and the cable outlets and the advertisers and say, we have 10 years of harmony. Now let's start the bidding on the next round and streaming and all of that. There's going to be veritable fortunes made, huge fortunes made by the non-football playing personnel.
Yeah.
It's going to be by the owners and the entertainment industry, the cable companies, and all. Well, I'll enjoy the football, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good deal.
Thing evolves.
Yeah.
I mean, streaming is changing everything.
It is. Yeah.
You know, and we'll see how it evolves in the next 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no turning back. I mean, you get a 10-year contract signed, sealed, and delivered. You know, it's.
Yeah, you get some reopeners in there.
I suppose. Yeah, if the owners want it reopened. If the players want it reopened, go back at the moon is going to be the answer they get. Speaking of pro football, I have. Oh, this is unbelievable. They are going to bring in, I believe, 21 or 22 new members of the Hall of Fame into Canton. Steve Atwater.
Yeah, to me, no, I
don't think so.
Isaac
Bruce. Good player.
Good player.
But Steve Hutchinson? Yeah.
It's offensive lineman.
Edgerrin James. Now, he was a force in the running game for a few years. Yeah. Troy Polamalu probably is the best choice out of the bunch.
I'd probably pick him.
Yeah. I mean, he was a dominant defensive player. The coaches. Bill Cowher and Jimmy Johnson are going on there only because of their TV career afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, give me a break.
I mean, how many years did Jimmy Johnson coach in the league?
The same, yeah. And I don't think Cowher got 10, did he?
He might have.
Maybe. Well, he didn't exactly dominate.
So you win a Super Bowl, you automatically get
I
in?
guess. Maybe that's it. Doesn't seem right. Steve Sabol, Paul Tagliabue, and George Young, front office type people.
Yeah.
Who knows? 10 seniors are going in. Now, Harold Carmichael.
Yeah, he was a great player.
He was a good player, no question about it. He was one of the first really super tall wide receivers, tight ends kind of guys. Jim Covert, I have no idea who he is.
I don't even know who that is.
Bobby Dillon was a defensive back for the old Green Bay Packers and was played in many, many Pro Bowls and had one eye.
Had one eye?
One eye.
Huh.
Cliff Harris.
Don't know Cliff Harris.
Winston Hill, offensive lineman, I think.
I think another one. He was a good player, but a Hall of Famer?
Alex Karras. Got a lot of extra publicity by being a media star and being on TV in the movies, but he was a good football player.
No, he's a good player.
Donnie Shell. Duke Slater.
Yeah, don't know.
Now, the last two I can actually say I saw, and that was Max Speedy, wide receiver for the old Cleveland Browns, and he was good, and played in numerous Super Bowls. Played on a bunch of Cleveland Browns championship teams, and I'm not sure they even had the Super Bowl back then.
I don't think so.
No. Not Super Bowl, I'm sorry, Pro Bowl.
Oh, the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. But he was certainly upper echelon. And he had longevity, too. And the other guy was Ed Sprinkle, defensive end for the Chicago Bears, going back into the 40s. Ed Sprinkle was known as one of the toughest guys in the league. Back in the days when you tackled somebody and you gouged his eyes out, no face masks or anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was one of the dirty players.
Yeah. There was a few of them.
Yep, well, there was plenty.
Yeah.
But the story I remember about Ed Sprinkle was Otto Graham, who was a great quarterback for the old Cleveland Browns. He hated Sprinkle. And I guess Sprinkle tried to do something to him when he piled on him. Next play, he said, let Sprinkle come through. He says, and I took the ball and I put it in his face from a distance of about 6 feet. And his face opened up like a watermelon exploding. And that was it for Ed for the day.
Yeah.
But that's...
Frontier justice.
That's exactly right. The old National Hockey League was like that,
yes,
too.
Yes, it was.
Just a brief one here. Rick Bowness took over on the Dallas Stars as the head coach when Jim Montgomery was fired. Jim had a 17-11-3 record. You fire a guy with that? But I guess the owner wasn't happy with the way they were playing. Well, Bowness, at the age of 64, former Bruin, has got them at 29-3 for his reign of terror, for a total of 37, 20, and 6 for 80 points, third in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
They're playing well. They got beat by the Bruins last night, 4-3.
Yeah.
And Anton Hoboden, ex-Bruin goalie, backup goalie, at 33 is getting better, 16, 7, and 2, 931 save percentage, and a 2.21 goals against.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, they play good defense,
Yeah.
the Dallas Stars. I don't think they're going to go that far, but you got to be able to put the puck in the net. And even with Tyler Sagan, it's not happening.
Yeah.
He's only got 16 goals.
Yeah. And Penn's a good player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, changing the subject, I watched the best basketball game that I can remember since the Celtics stopped the Warriors' win streak. The Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, it was quite a game. I didn't see much of it. I saw the very end. But
well, I can tell you what. Celtics basketball's my fourth favorite sport. I watched every minute of it.
yeah.
It was something to behold.
compelling, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The defense played by both teams was unbelievable.
That's what you need for the playoffs.
Yep. And after the game, LeBron James tweeted, Jason Tatum, a major problem.
Yeah, he's turning into a superstar.
Right before our eyes.
He really is.
Yeah. And he's playing defense.
Yeah.
Going both ways.
Yeah, which he didn't do previously.
And Jaylen Brown is he's been doing it all along,
Yeah.
I think. More so than, but I'll tell you what, these lads are growing up to be something.
Yeah. Tatum is, I mean, what's his ceiling? He could be, I mean, I think he's a franchise-type player.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
They need to sign him this offseason.
Yeah.
I think they will.
Which they will, yeah. I mean, they'll give him max contract.
Yeah.
And, which he richly deserves.
Yeah.
And we can enjoy the future. But what's the future? Are they ever going to get a big guy or?
I think eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, the troika they have is okay.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I was looking for Tice.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Yeah, I mean, 16 points, 6 for 7 from the floor, 9 rebounds. But he played good D.
Yeah. Well, that was always the MO on him, wasn't he?
I'm not sure that he's an NBA caliber championship center.
He's a rotational guy.
Yeah, I'd love to see him as the backup.
Yeah.
But you know,
I mean, ideally, I think he's a 16, 18 minute a night guy.
Yeah.
He's playing more than that now, but
He is. Yeah. But you know what else he is? I don't know what his stats are, but boy, I'll tell you, he can be deadly on the threes.
he can shoot the three. Yeah.
He does not fire them up when it's not there like some of the other guys do. they just come down and regardless of whether they're being guarded or not, a little daylight and put that three up, you know? He doesn't. He has to be open. He's quite deliberate about it. He hits
You
him.
can hit him, yeah. And that's really developed since he got here.
Yeah.
When he first got here, he wasn't shooting those
No,
things.
he was...
So he worked on his game.
Yep. And also, you know, it would seem to me that if you can sink threes, well, you ought to be able to hit the 10 and 12-foot jumpers from around the key.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something the Celtics could look for a little bit more often than they do.
They're
But
three happy like the rest of the league.
that's exactly right. Yeah. You know, and if you get a guy towards the paint with a little three, a jumper, and he gets fouled in the act of shooting, that's a three.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the game now, right? Centers
is.
have to be able to go out to pull the defense
Yep.
out of the
that's
paint.
exactly right. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you can hit the three, they're going to have to guard you.
That's
If
exactly
you can't,
right.
they don't guard you.
That's exactly right. It's as though you got their flu.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we have 80 cases known in the U.S.
Are we back on Corona?
on Corona for a second. But we've had 14,000 deaths in this country of the conventional flu.
Yeah. And nobody talks about that.
Let's put this thing in perspective here. Jay Boomista, fair to Midland defenseman, 36 years old, collapsed on the St. Louis Blues bench.
Yeah.
His heart stopped.
Close call.
Yep, very close call. Boy, the trainers and the doctors, paramedics, all jumped on him, and they brought him back to life.
Yeah.
And he's had a heart attack. They call it all kinds of different things, but it's a heart
Essentially a
attack.
heart attack, yeah.
They put a pacemaker type device in, defibrillator type device in, and I guess he's going home. Or is home.
He was at the game the other night.
Oh, that's right. So he must be home. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he shut down now, the season and the playoffs.
Well, I would think so.
And I would think that cooler heads will prevail here, and his wife will say to him, Jay, you know, really like to have you around to help raise the kids for the next 15 to 20 years.
Yeah. Scary thing.
Yeah. And you would slow down. You weren't quite the hockey player you were, and wouldn't this be a good time to hang him up?
Probably
And
so.
you know what? If there's a year left on his contract, the Blues should say, yeah, retire, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, if it's a medical issue, I think they need to pay him.
yeah, no. If it were a back problem or a knee problem aggravated by hockey, yeah. But could they say, well, this is congenital or string it out or whatever? A good organization would just say, fine. Don't worry about a thing. Take care of yourself, take care of your family.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the CBA in hockey says about that.
I know. Nor do I.
But it's a CBA issue.
Yeah. One thing, too, that I want to, just bring in here, I didn't have this written down, but you know, the Montreal Canadiens, when they were owned by Molson Brewery, were just a great outfit.
Mm-hmm.
When you played for them, and you turned 31, 32, 33, they'd bring you in. And they'd say, you've lost it. You slowed down. So look, Gary, here's the deal. Probably you're not going to make the team this coming year. Last year we hung on to you, but so we're either going to release you, trade you, or whatever, or ask you to retire with a year's pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was a fair amount of that.
You can't criticize an organization for that. You take a look at what happens today, and they just chop your heads off today. Speaking of that, do you know who got a rotten deal Brock Holt.
From Milwaukee? Yeah.
No, from the Red Sox.
Well, I was surprised. I thought once they made the trade, they'd bring him back, but I was wrong.
Yeah. Do you know what he made last year?
No.
$3.6 million with the Red Sox. He signed for $3.25 with Milwaukee. Do you mean to say the Red Sox couldn't have just renewed last year's contract?
Yeah, I mean, second base is an issue.
It is. And these, a couple of the utility guys, they've signed, not great utility guys.
No.
Here's a kid that played his heart out, played hurt, and played well. And it was a model citizen.
Oh, yeah.
Off the field with the Jimmy Fund, and you just say, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, they signed those other guys.
Yeah. I tell you.
And it appears as if, hopefully Jeter Downs is the future second baseman, but he's probably a year or two out. Oh. Baseball magazine, Baseball America.
Look who was on the inside cover before, 2 or 3 days before the trade. I got this in the mail.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Jeter Downs.
Yep. He took flight in the second half when he showcased fast hands, great timing, and all fields power.
Yeah. I've heard good things about him. A lot of people like him.
There you are.
Okay, thank you.
Except he has not looked good in the first week or so of spring
That's what I've
training.
heard, but how old is he? Like 20?
20 or 21. Yeah, there's more on him in there.
So he's a year or two out.
He is. But he had 26 home runs last year,
Yeah.
playing between A and AA. As did the catcher they got. He had either 24 or 26 home runs between A and AA.
Yeah.
Both these kids have got power. Now we'll see what the rest of their
We'll
game
see how
is.
this trade, the re-spun trade, I think Bloom did improve his haul. I mean, I would have liked to seen some pitching come back. The thought of trade Mookie and not bringing back any pitching is concerning. But, if you end up with a starting outfielder and a starting second baseman, which you don't have coming through your system right now.
Yep. Michael Chavis is probably in the catbird seat to grab
him
that.
as a second baseman. I just don't.
Didn't hurt them last year.
No.
But I mean, he wasn't all-star caliber either.
No,
But I thought he played better than we had any right to expect,
yeah,
probably.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But second and short, I think are defensive. You really need defensive position.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. No question. You can live with light hitting at those two spots.
Right.
Every place else on the diamond, you got to hit. The Bruins and the Celtics are down in the charts in fan interest compared to the Pats. But nobody is tanking like the Red Sox. Yesterday's Herald and the day before's, 4 full pages about the Patriots. There was 3 pages about the Sox. Actually, 2 pages about the Sox, 1 about baseball. 1 about the Bruins and 1 about the Celtics. The Patriots off-season is stronger than Red Sox spring training and the Bruins and the Celtics.
Yeah. Which is, basically Brady.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, can they fortify the roster a bit, which they need to do?
Yeah, and everybody's, anticipating who they're going to draft, who they're going to trade, who they're going to re-sign, and it's fun. But the Red Sox are playing down spring training, and there's not much being written about them.
I think people are standoffish to the Sox.
There's going to be a lot more blowback on the Red Sox. By the way, that press conference that the 3 wise men held, was about as bad as could possibly be envisioned.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't make that trade to get under the $208 million.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was Pinocchio, his nose would have been about 3 feet long.
Yeah, well, they're kind of like the Democrats, right? If you just keep saying something
Over and over.
and over and over again, even if it has no basis in fact,
If you
works.
toss spaghetti at the wall, eventually some of it sticks.
Yeah.
But the fans aren't believing it. The fans in Boston are sophisticated.
Well, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to look at the Yankees and say we can compete with them. Now, the Yankees got early injury problems.
Boy, they
Their
have
pitching's
Giancarlo Stanton again.
Yeah.
And they're saying this could be a couple of months. And
Severino gone for the year.
yeah, and he's gone for next year, too. I mean,
yeah.
you don't come back from that and be an all-star. You come back probably midway through the season, and you reacclimate yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're a
It
500
really is.
pitcher.
You're right. It is a 2-year process.
And actually, it's a 3-year process in his case, because they shut him down early last year. He sat out almost the whole year. So there's 1 year gone. Second year is going to be gone. And the third year, he's going to have to learn all over again. And it's going to be that's a bad deal. That's a bad deal. And he's a young man,
big
too.
injury for them. And he's pretty good.
Oh, guess so. Well, Brady to the Buccaneers?
No way. I'm not buying that for a second.
Oh, what are you buying?
Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does this mean
I've said before I thought the Chargers were playing. I think they will be in play. But I just don't think they're good enough.
Does this mean we sign Mariota on the rebound?
We signed somebody.
I don't think it'll be Mariota. Do you?
No, I don't think it'll be
I don't
Mariota.
think so.
No. I mean, you hear the Andy Dalton rumors.
Andy Dalton's well respected as a second-tier quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
He's articulate. He's bright. Not as physically endowed
Nope.
as the rest.
Coachable.
Coachable.
Which is big here.
And a good teammate.
Yeah.
So, with the talent the Patriots have, they could live with an Andy Dalton.
They could.
Yeah.
Especially if they can get if they address the tight end situation. Which, if Brady leaves and you sign a Dalton, you've got the money to address a couple of issues.
If the Patriots hold on to their defenders.
Right.
Because you're going to have to win games on both sides of the ball.
Right.
Celtics had a good Pats had a good defense last year, but they got to re-sign the Van Noys. I think if they lose him, they're going to be losing a lot.
Yeah. Jamie Collins. And what happens to McCourty?
I
think
McCourty is like the quarterback back there. I mean, he calls the defensive signals for the backfield.
Yeah.
He moves people around on his own. He is a defensive coach in the making. Right before your eyes. But you know what? He slowed down, too.
Yeah, he has. And, he's probably going to cost you that $9 million.
I would not be willing to pay it.
And this is a pretty strong safety draft. In fact, a lot of the mock drafts I've seen have the Patriots taking a safety in the first round.
Yeah.
It's thought to be a good year to get a safety.
Yeah, not a good year to get a tight end.
No, tight end class is
they say, there's some moldable guys in rounds 3, 4, and 5 that the Patriots should take 2 of them and see what they can do building them.
I think they got to go free agency for tight end.
Well, that might be the best thing to do short run.
Now, it's supposed to be a fantastic draft for wide receivers.
Yeah, they're supposed
One of the deepest in years.
I mean, yeah, and they're on trees. You just go over and pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a couple of them that are outright burners.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 4 4s and 4 3s and little water bugs, and that's one thing the Patriots have lacked.
You know, I don't think I personally think the wide receiver situation is not as dire as it seems.
Tight end situation is much more serious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the Patriots, with Sanu there from the beginning of camp, N'Keal Harry, I still think is going to be a good player. He had a terrible rookie year. He got hurt.
Look, I mean, every single thing, every time he threw the dice, it come up snake eyes.
Yeah. So I still think there's hope there.
And help me with the kid that's been in and out. The free agent, the walk-on from last year. Psyche was 17.
Yeah, he's. I think you got some, and Edelman will be back.
And then who, please?
Edelman.
Yeah, Edelman will be back.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think it's as important as the tight ends, but boy,
I think you got to add.
I think in the second round, I think you take a burner.
Yeah, you don't have a second round pick, but.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, they get a 1 and 3 threes.
Well, you're going to take one in the third round.
Yeah. I think Bill's going to trade down from 23.
I think it would be a very wise move. If he can get two twos.
Into the early second round.
If he can get a pair of twos, can you do that, do you think, dropping down?
He might have to give up one of his threes to get up. You know. So if you drop down from 23, maybe you get into the early second round, you get a 2. Maybe.
A 3 and a 4?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe you give up a fourth to get, and a third and a fourth to get up into the second. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it to Bill.
I think they got some holes to fill.
They do, definitely do.
Yeah.
And now, the story in this morning's paper, well, they're not keen on re-signing Ted Karras. I thought played very well.
Yeah. He was thrown into the fire.
And if he and Tooney both leave, this is not going to be a good situation.
Got a big hole. Yeah. I've been assuming they would re-sign Karras because Tooney's going to leave. There's no way Tooney's re-signing.
No.
Somebody's going to pay that kid.
And they're saying he's going to be the highest paid lineman in the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's...
a lot of cap space out there.
Yeah, and you know what? Tooney's a good young building block to build around. He doesn't miss games to injury. He's a tough kid. I hate like hell to see him walk. I wonder...
Miami.
Would you put... they don't have room. Yeah, bad idea. Well, what about Kemba Walker's knee?
I don't know. I mean, the guy misses the week before the All-Star game. Then he plays 30 minutes in the All-Star game. And he hasn't played since.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Nor do I.
Yeah. I don't get how that works. That a guy, who's such a key player, makes that much money, how that scenario plays out. That he misses the week before, plays in the game, and now it's been, what, at least 2 weeks since, and he hasn't played. Yeah. So it's troubling.
It is troubling me.
Yeah.
Because I like the guy.
I like the guy too, but...
And he gives you that added extra oomph.
Yeah.
The Bruins got enough guys, overachievers, in the lineup. But Kemba gives you... He comes in and he can do some things.
Yeah, I think they win that Lakers game if he's playing.
Yeah, I do too.
Right?
Yep.
So...
the Bruins... signed Jeremy Lazon to a 2-year extension. I think that is a wonderful move.
The kid looks good.
The kid is good.
These defensemen, they just keep pumping up these defensemen.
And he's tough. He's a big kid, very physical.
He's played well.
Yeah, and he doesn't take stupid penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kid is, he's a keeper. That was a very smart move by...
I'll tell you, you have to, the Bruins, I think, have done a very good job the last couple of years.
They have.
Getting their players signed.
Yep.
The Pasternak deal, which was, as it turns out, was a fantastic deal.
It was 6.7 mil.
Yeah.
I mean, he could
if
make
he was-
10 now.
He was hitting free
Yeah.
agency, he'd be at least 10.
Yeah.
So that was a good re-signing. They've kept their core. They got Carlo and Charlie extended last year, which I was concerned that
Yep.
they wouldn't get them both done. They did.
And Charlie Coyle, that deal,
Looking better all the
looking
time.
better and better and better.
Coyle's been hot lately.
Yeah.
Right?
Now they picked up 2 more guys, and we'll have to. I think the jury is going to be out on these 2 for a bit.
Richie had a good night last night.
Richie had a good night last night.
Plus, I like his size, right?
Big-
Last year in the
big boy.
playoffs between certainly Toronto, but also Columbus pushed us around.
St.
last
Louis
year.
Blues did too.
That's what I mean. St.
Yeah.
Louis, yeah. We got by Columbus
Yep.
barely.
Yep. But he's a big boy, 6'2", 230,
Yeah.
and doesn't back down.
Right.
And scores from that 4, 5, 6 foot area where you got to have guts to stand in and take a beating.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to work out. The other kid is all offense, no defense.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Kasha. And we'll see how
We'll see how it goes.
who knows? Put him out there on the power play with Pasternak. Who knows?
Yeah.
There are all kinds of things. But they didn't give up much. I thought that dumping Bacchus and 3/4 of his
Yeah, that was
salary
huge.
was huge.
I think it's really huge because now you probably have the money to re-sign Krug. Krug's up at the end of the year,
If that's what you want to do.
if that's what you want to do.
Now-
and that's the thing with all these young defensemen.
Yep. I have 2 thoughts on that. Number one, in watching Torrey Krug, say from the All-Star game on, closely, because I'm looking at this as, do I want to re-sign this guy to a huge contract?
Yeah.
I'm quickly coming to the answer, no.
Right.
He is, if you were grading this thing on a chart, he'd probably be in the 60th quartile of defensemen? 65th?
Maybe. I mean, I almost view him more as a specialist, right? I mean, I think
Power
he's
play
really
specialist?
great on the power play. He's such a good passer. He's really good at keeping the puck in at the line.
He moves the puck very well.
Yes, he does.
Very well. Has defensive shortcomings.
Yeah.
Can be pushed around. But on the whole, I think he's above average as a defenseman, as a talent for your team.
Right.
I am not going to watch the Bruins spend $8 million a year on him.
Yeah.
Now, he's talking 7 to 9.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
No.
That's a lot of money.
No.
for him.
In fact, he's making 5 1/4 or
Around
5.75,
there, yeah, 5 and change,
something. Yeah. If the Bruins went to him and said, "Torrey, you had a good year. I'm going to give you a $500,000 raise and a 3-year extension."
He wouldn't sign it.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any more than that, pal.
Yeah, he's going to want 6 years.
Yeah, and
And somebody will probably give it to him.
yeah, if that's the case, that's the case.
Yeah.
You know, one of the surprises too was Kreider re-signing with the Rangers.
Yeah.
7 years, 6.7, I think, is what he got a year
Maybe, yeah.
at 28 years of age. Pretty good signing for the Rangers, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's got wheels.
The Rangers are showing some life.
Yeah. And the Bruins also gave up Danton Heinen, who was
loss.
regressing. No loss. And a number 1 draft choice. Well, hell, they can't draft anyway worth a damn.
Yeah.
So what are they giving up, really? You know? I thought Sweeney did very, very well.
Yeah, I did too. I think he's done. I think he deserves credit.
7th Player Award. Who you picking?
Oh boy, I haven't even thought about it. 7th Player Award. What are you thinking?
I think Brandon Carlo.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
He's come from a kid with real potential to a kid that's one of the better defensemen in the league and a real handful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the step he made this year is big.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
So if you go by the strict,
I'd be good with that.
Yeah, I would too. After that, it's pretty tough finding somebody. Charlie Coyle,
Possibly.
yeah, we'll get some votes. And you know what? If Charlie Coyle wins, I'm not going to be PO'd about it.
No.
He's played well.
He's probably going to end up in the low 20s.
And he's getting better every
Been hot
game.
lately.
Yeah, playing very sound. One more thing, I think, before we have to call it a show, and that is Rob Manfred is getting all kinds of blowback from the players.
Yeah.
And it's richly deserved.
It is richly deserved.
And they're not pulling their punches at all.
No. Why should they?
Absolutely right. He has mishandled this mess right from the moment of the problem beginning.
The players want the other players punished.
That's exactly right. They're saying they cheated.
And they knew they were cheating?
And why should they get off scot-free?
Right.
All right? And I get grabbed in this coming season and I get fined or suspended?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Right.
So I think Manfred, if everything happened the way I wished it would, I think the owners need to really sit down and say, is this the best guy for this job?
Yeah. I think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be gone.
Or do we need to give him a golden parachute and kick him out the nearest door? Because he
I'd say the latter.
doesn't handle the press well either.
No.
Quite evasive. Well, folks, unfortunately, they're waving the timeout flag at me.
Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And we thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed our ravings, or at least my ravings, in Gary's cool, level-headed thinking. And come on back and visit us again in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And in the meantime, keep hoping that spring is on the way.
It is here. I think it's here.
Yeah. The red-winged blackbirds are in my yard.
There you go.
I think they're early, but they're in my yard.
There you go.
All right, folks. Listen, have a good one. Good night, or good morning, or whatever.